Hello, it's Kevin here. Video number 5 in our sentence by sentence approach to writing task 2 for the IELTS, how to write your essay. So let's see, you can look and see where we are so far. So we've done our introduction, we paraphrase a topic, give an outline sentence explaining what we're going to be talking about, main idea, explanation of main idea, and we're here. Example sentence. Now, we're putting the example sentence here as sentence number 3, but as you may find when you're writing and in the exam itself, it may not always be sentence number 3, it may be sentence number 2. That depends on the topic and what you know about it, but just for the sake of argument for today, we're going to have a look at sentence number 3. Okay, let's have a look. So now, they support your ideas. So examples help to reinforce your arguments, makes your points clearer, more convincing, and examiners do look for good, suitable, relevant, but they must be relevant and pertinent. That is key. I keep seeing essays in IELTS9PRO and on italki, links below if you're watching on YouTube, where people use examples that don't really fit. I was reading an essay by this guy a couple of days back, and it was on about something about scientific advances today or something, and he gave Isaac Newton as an example. So I said to him, that's not quite relevant to the topic, so you need to be careful what you're doing. So you can use a linking device of a discourse marker, as it's sometimes called, to show that it's an example. For example, for instance, to illustrate, this can be instanced by as an illustration. You can use other linking devices such as in particular or namely. Now, this is something that I'm asked all the time about personal examples, right? So people keep saying, "Oh, Kev, are you allowed to give personal examples?" Well, as I say, if you read the rubric, every essay says, write at least 250 words and include relevant examples from your knowledge or experience. Every essay, that's what it says. If you're just reading essay titles from the internet, you might miss this, but if you open the Cambridge books, every writing task says, write 250 examples from your knowledge or experience. So personal examples can be used. Depends on the topic, of course. For some, personal examples might not work, but for some, this one here, which is talking about free public transport, that would certainly fit having a personal example. For example, when I was a student, I had to travel miles to college, and if public transport was not free, it would have been very expensive, and I couldn't have gone. That would actually work. Yeah. For example, some people who are on a tight budget and time poor can benefit from free public transport. Or for example, when I was a student, so you can use personal examples, that's perfectly fine. Now, this is a tricky one. I'll come down on it and say I would try to avoid it. Some sources say that you can, some of them say that you shouldn't. I don't think it matters, really, as long as it's not obviously false, as long as it's not obviously strange. You can use them, but you want to avoid things like saying, according to a recent report by Harvard University in 2016, 82% of all Chinese students said blah, blah, blah. That's a little bit much. So if possible, don't go to that level of detail. You can say, I recently read a report which suggested English people like drinking tea at 4 o'clock. Something such as that, not quite as specific and detailed, for example. Now, Structure. Some people do put examples at the beginning, sometimes at the end. I wouldn't really do that because you need to explain the example. So, preferred structure, a topic sentence, main idea. Having free public transport is a good idea. Okay, sentence 2, explain it. As many people on low incomes live in cities and who rely on public transport to get to work, having cheap public transport would be a major benefit. For example, as a student, I don't have a lot of money, so therefore, etc. Okay? So, main idea, elaborate, and give some example. Let's take a look. So, you can see here, main idea can expose children to different cultures, explain it. Students learn basic English lessons from 3 years of age, etc. Let's take a look at another one. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. That's a good, well-developed example, which is what the criteria actually says. If you take a look at the official criteria, it's always talking about development of your ideas. So this is what that means, essentially, if you're not sure. So here you can see your topic, sentence, explanation, and you have a concise example. I won't read it out word for word. You can do that. You can see the one before. So that's the first one, the second one. Now, this one's a little bit long. Lots of too much detail, too much information. That doesn't really work. It goes on a little bit. That could easily be cut down into a single sentence. Easily. So that's a little bit long. In conclusion then, so make it clear it's an example. For example, you can use personal, non-personal, depending on what the topic is and, of course, what you can think of at the time. Obviously, what we're saying here is normative. We understand that when you're sitting in the examination room at your computer, what you come up with in the heat of the moment may not be precisely what we're describing. But this is a guide just to give you some support and ideas. So, it would be good if you could do it in this way. So, position your examples wisely, keep them brief, and avoid too much invented statistics. Your own views will be fine. As it says, write 250 words, give reasons and examples based on your knowledge and experience. So, thanks. Hope that helps. See you next time.